Somewhere deep within the silent forests of the north, where snow gathers softly upon ancient branches and moonlight turns the frozen earth silver, a small figure moves like a living ember through the darkness. The red fox carries the color of fire upon its fur, a warm glow against the endless winter. Quiet and weightless, it drifts through the forest as though it belongs equally to the earth and to the wind itself. Few creatures understand solitude as deeply as the red fox. It lives between silence and survival, between caution and curiosity. While the world sleeps beneath heavy snow, the fox continues onward with patient grace, leaving behind only delicate footprints that disappear by morning. To watch it move across the frozen land is to witness a kind of quiet resilience that asks for no applause. When the first snow of winter settles over the forest floor, the fox begins its long season of stillness and endurance. The trees become motionless shadows beneath the pale sky. Rivers harden into glass. The air grows sharp enough to sting every breath. Yet even here, where life appears hidden beneath layers of frost, the fox moves with calm certainty. It pauses often, listening. Beneath the thick blanket of snow, tiny movements vibrate through the earth. A hidden mouse. The rustle of small life surviving underground. The fox lowers its head, ears alert, body perfectly still. In these moments, the forest itself seems to stop breathing alongside it. Then suddenly, with astonishing precision, it leaps into the snow, vanishing completely before emerging once more with quiet success. There is something almost meditative about the way the fox survives. It wastes no energy. It carries no unnecessary anger toward the world. It simply adapts, listens, waits, and continues forward. Every movement has purpose. Every pause contains awareness. Humans often describe foxes as cunning creatures, but perhaps they are something far gentler than that. Perhaps they are simply masters of observation. They understand that survival is not always about strength. Sometimes it is about patience. About knowing when to move and when to remain invisible. As winter deepens, loneliness settles across the forest like another layer of snow. The fox spends many nights alone beneath dark skies filled with cold stars. Yet there is no bitterness in its solitude. Hidden inside a small den beneath tangled roots or stone, it curls into itself and wraps its thick tail across its body like a blanket of living warmth. Outside, storms rage across the wilderness. Wind rattles frozen branches. Ice cracks beneath distant rivers. But inside the den, there is only slow breathing and silence. Perhaps this is why the red fox feels so familiar to the human heart. We too spend parts of our lives hiding from storms no one else can see. We too search for warmth in difficult seasons. Like the fox, we gather small memories to survive the longest nights. A kind voice. A peaceful moment. A fragment of sunlight remembered during darkness. The fox understands that winter is not an enemy. It is simply a season that asks creatures to become quieter versions of themselves. And so the fox waits. When hunger eventually calls it back into the snow-covered world, it moves carefully through unfamiliar territory. Every sound matters. Every shadow could hold danger. Yet even in uncertainty, the fox never abandons its grace. Its body remains light and fluid, almost like flowing water moving between trees. There is extraordinary discipline hidden inside such a small animal. The fox knows that panic wastes energy. Fear clouds judgment. So it trusts its instincts and continues through the frozen landscape with measured calm. In many ways, the fox survives not because the world is kind, but because it refuses to surrender its balance within cruelty. Its golden eyes shine brightly beneath the moonlight, carrying a quiet determination that never fully fades. Even during the harshest nights, there remains within the fox a deep certainty that spring will eventually return. That warmth still exists somewhere beyond the cold horizon. And eventually, it does. One morning, sunlight begins lingering longer across the forest floor. Snow softens. Frozen streams awaken beneath melting ice. The scent of damp earth returns to the air. Slowly, almost cautiously, the forest begins breathing again. The fox emerges from winter transformed. Its fur glows brighter beneath the softer light of spring. It moves across the thawing land with renewed curiosity, tracing old paths now covered in fresh life. Birds return to the branches overhead. Tiny flowers press through the soil. Everywhere the fox walks, the world seems to be remembering itself. Yet even now, after surviving another brutal winter, the fox does not move with arrogance. It remains humble before the forest. It understands how quickly seasons can change. How fragile survival truly is. Instead of conquering the wilderness, it simply belongs to it. That may be the fox's greatest lesson. In a world constantly demanding noise, speed, and attention, the red fox reminds us of the quiet strength hidden inside restraint. It teaches us that dignity can exist even within loneliness. That softness and vigilance are not opposites. That surviving difficult seasons does not require losing one's gentleness. As night slowly returns to the forest once more, the fox climbs a small hill overlooking the sleeping trees. The moon hangs pale above the endless wilderness. Cold wind moves softly through its fur while the world grows still again. For a long moment, the fox simply watches. Then it disappears silently into the shadows, carrying its flame-colored tail behind it like the final glowing spark of a fading fire. And perhaps tonight, as you close your eyes and leave behind the noise of the day, you can follow those quiet footprints into the snowy forest. Let the stillness settle gently around your thoughts. Let your breathing slow like winter wind moving through frozen branches. May your heart become like the red fox itself. Calm within uncertainty. Graceful within hardship. And no matter how long the winter lasts, always carrying somewhere inside it a small and unbreakable warmth.